This man told his students to visit him and look at his body after 50 years. 75 years later, as they removed the lid, they discover a jaw-dropping vision that even scientists couldn't explain this theory. Dashi Dorso Itigilov was a Buddhist spiritual leader from Russia. According to History.com, Buddhism is a faith that was founded by Siddhartha Gautama, the Buddha, more than 2,500 years ago in India, with about 470 million followers. Scholars consider Buddhism one of the major religions in the world. Followers of Buddhism don't acknowledge a supreme god or deity, they instead focus on achieving enlightenment, a state of inner peace and wisdom. Born in 1852, Dashi Dorso Itigilov began his religious education at the age of 16. He studied in Annecy Datsun, a Buddhist university in Buryatia, now in ruins, and earned degrees in medicine and philosophy. Like many lamas, he was very fond of herbs. In 1911, he was appointed the 12th Pentitle Combo Lama, the head of Buddhism in Russia. Dashi Dorso Itigilov was no ordinary teacher. He would later on prove that even his faith is second to none. He has been described as a very strict and strong man who people respected very much. During the First World War, Dashi Dorso Itigilov founded the organization of Beryata Brothers, that helped the army with money, meals, clothes and medication. He also built a set of hospitals with Lama doctors helping wounded soldiers and received prestigious accomplishments. Dashi never left Buryatia except for his visit to St. Petersburg in 1913, during which he wanted to ensure the presence of Buddhists in the Duma and also prepare the presence of Buddhist monks in the army at places where Buddhists serve. In 1926, Dashi warned his students about the coming terror of the Red Teaching and advised them to flee to Tibet. It was said that he had an incredible aura of peace and love surrounding him that was felt by every student he mentored. In 1927, when he was 75 years old, the Russian spiritual leader stepped down from his position and became an ordinary monk. He also made preparations for his departure from this world. He gathered his students and announced his plan to pass away. He made special arrangements and asked to be placed underground after his demise. He also gave an emotional farewell to his students. He retreated to his room in the temple where he lived, sat down in the lotus position and closed his eyes. He passed away peacefully several days later, and 2 students placed his body in a cedar box and was then buried still sitting upright in the lotus position as per his exact instructions. However, there was one more thing Dashi Dorso left for his students to do. He told his followers to visit him and look at his body in 50 years, as if he saw something from the future no one else did. It added to their mentor's already out of this world request. Dashi Dorso Itigilov definitely knew something that nobody else knew. Why give such specific instructions to his students? It was all too blurry for his students. Nevertheless, they have obeyed what their mentor had asked them to do. Unfortunately, there was a ban on this religion at the time that his body was supposed to be exhumed. Dashi Dorso Itigilov pupils had to wait for another 25 years, for they could reopen his crate. Finally in 2002, 75 years after Dashi Dorso was buried, several Russian Buddhist leaders decided to exhume his body. They all stood around and eagerly watched. As the lid was removed, when they looked inside they gasped. Everyone who is present during the exhumation was in awe at what they saw. Dashi Dorso Itigilov was sitting in the same lotus position that he had passed away in 75 years earlier. His body showed hardly any signs of decomposition, even though no special measures for preserving the Buddhist Lama had been taken. Those who were present said that not even the smell of demise hung in the air. Everyone was left wondering how it would be possible. Dashidor's Hoytygilov face was also intact even when they removed the backing to the sear crate. His body remained upright as if he was still very much alive. His skin was soft and elastic and his joints could be easily adjusted. There were a handful of forensic analysis at the site and they were all left speechless. Buddhists believe that the condition of Dashidor's Hoytygilov body, understood to be like no other in history, is evidence that he had reached a state of emptiness. He has thus become a source of inspiration to many Lama and novices following the spiritual path and others of the Buddhist faith. Many people were convinced that his body had healing powers and pilgrims flocked to Ivalkinsky to press their foreheads to the Lama's scarf. Wheelchairs and crutches were often left near the body as a sign of healing. Experts may never find an answer as to why Dashidor's Hoytygilov remained intact for so long. Some mysteries just aren't meant to be solved, and that makes them all the more intriguing.